earth is going on here? Up the hill, this is key.
This is really important because the braking for going onto the main straight is actually a double left-hander off camber, and the car's all on tippy-toe, and it's the most important corner because you've got to get a really good run down the straight.
Right, wide, wide. He goes onto the main straight, bit of a wiggle, high and wide, but head down, looks very, very quick down there. Big break through the chicane. It isn't that flexible, this thing. Down into 06. Still sounds like you. Small left before the bus stop. Into the bus stop. What's it like on the direction change? Flick left, flick right. Pedal down and across the line, and it looked like a pretty good lap. That thing absolutely honks.
Yeah, that's super quick, isn't it?
Now, you might have been a bit rude about it, but I'll tell you what, you will be staggered. It's done in a 1 minute 10.44.
Pretty good. That's actually better than I thought. But it goes to show you exactly what those soft, sticky tyres will do for you. I actually reckon they're worth about 2 seconds a lap. So I still reckon a GT3 will give it a touch-up.
You won't let this drop, will he? Absolutely not. I think it's a belting time. At this stage, a Porsche beater. And, of course, it is almost our quickest V8, second only to the Porsche.
You know, sometimes it pays off to just take a few steps back from life and just ask yourself one question. What were they thinking? You know, in a perfect world, a dream car would be an Italian car built in Sweden, but a nightmare car would be a Swedish car built in Italy. In the 1970s, those wild and crazy guys at Volvo decided to do a wild and crazy thing and take a Volvo 264 sedan and pimp it and turn it into this. This is the Volvo 262 Coupe. Now, all they had to do was really put 2 great big doors here and cut the roof down so it gave the appearance and the comfort of a bomb shelter. Now, the really interesting thing about this car was that the body was put on it in Italy by Bertone. So not only did you have the joy of driving a 1970s Volvo, you also got to experience 1970s Italian craftsmanship firsthand. So what were they thinking?
Well, I'd like to know what Holden Australia were thinking in the 1980s. Simply because, you know, sales of the Commodore were down and they think, I need a 4-cylinder car. But we don't have one, so what do? They get the 6-cylinder, they put it through a bandsaw, and they make a 4-cylinder. It was called the Starfire, and it came out in the VC Commodore. Hey, how good's this thing? Had a whole 58 kilowatts of power. So it actually used more fuel than the 6-cylinder because you're constantly in it to get it going. Now, this car quickly got a reputation for being absolutely awful, and the engine was nicknamed the Crossfire, the Misfire, the Backfire, and my favourite, the Bushfire. I mean, this car actually created bushfires. What the hell were Holden thinking with that one?
Mine is short and sweet. I warned you two last week this was going on the board. You two in those stupid hats in that stupid hearse, what were you thinking? Now, these old piles of rubble in the corner are not just studio decoration. In this week's challenge, we actually fall in love with those old wrecks. More of that after the break. It's getting harder and harder these days to get a driver's licence, pass your test. Now, maybe that's no bad thing. But recently, some experts came up with a top idea: give learner drivers a maturity test. Now, if we'd had to pass a test like that, we'd still be getting buses.
Well, we wondered, whatever happened to learning to drive in the great Australian tradition? You know, get in an old bomb and drive round and round someone's back paddock.
So we were given $500 each and sent to a junkyard to resurrect some old bombs to go paddock bashing. But we weren't told the whole story.
We
each bought $500 to the nearest vehicular graveyard to look for a wreck to resurrect. Should be simple, we thought. It's got to run, it's got to be fun, it's got to be fast, but it's got to last as well. And it didn't take me long to find a diamond in the rust. She was beautiful, powerful, and solid. Now this is the car of my dreams. I'm really onto something here. Now this is an HT. It's an HT Premier. Have a look at that, the twin headlights. We were a Belmont family. We couldn't afford the Premier, but it's absolutely a work of art. I learnt to drive in one of these. I can tell you something, word to the wise. Not only have I got a little bit of chrome there, that's not the 186 this baby came out with. That is a 202, I can tell by the engine cover. Nice one. Now, I'd found a piece of my past, a robust example of Aussie motoring that I knew would see me right. However, for reasons best known to himself, Steve's genetic imperative led him behind the wheel of a taxi.
I've had a pretty good find here. What I'm thinking is most cabs go about 1 million Ks, and they still keep running. So this thing's only done 250,000 Ks, so it's only sort of a quarter of the way through its life.
Hey, mate, my little baby over there has got 4, perhaps even 5 on the floor.
You reckon that's good? I've just worked this out. This thing is in fact an S-Pack, which of course in the 90s meant red pinstripe and crappy alloys.
So I guess it was only predictable that Steve and I had chosen different sides in the eternal battle of Holden versus Ford. And not surprisingly, Warren was playing on his own peculiar team. He'd chosen a Camry, a station wagon, bless him.
Now, I've walked through here, and without any shadow of a doubt, this car is the best car in this entire junkyard. This is a 1989 Toyota Camry station wagon. You couldn't kill this sort of a thing with an Abrams tank.
Well, if it wasn't a tank, what did kill him? Godzilla? Despite the fact that his nasty little Camry was a front-wheel drive sardine can in need of some major surgery, Warren was more concerned with the paint job.
This is the Dukes of Hazzard cars because you can only get in through the window. Hang on.
You're getting paint on your ass.
No, not. Am I? Hang on.
Mate, they've sold you a dud. This is just putrescence.
This is the best car on the lot.
That's like giving birth in reverse.
I don't have the same style as a Duke of Hazzard.
It's like having a baby put back.
Listen to this.
Look at the smoke! We spent the day pretending to be mechanics and finished up with some clever psychological measures. I knew Octane Boost wouldn't get the old Holden going much faster, but it bothered the boys. Steve's beaded seat cover was aesthetic, but pathetic. It would only cushion the blow of defeat. And as for Warren and the General Lee, well, his bizarre marriage of Japan and the Deep South could only be explained by the fact that they'd both lost wars to the USA. The next morning, we confidently presented our rejuvenated Rex.